Well, hello and welcome to Faith, Philosophy and Life with me, Mr. Shelton. It's great to see you again. I do hope that you're doing well and that you'll be back in school soon if you're watching this because you're at home. The title today is What are the main principles behind Islamic life? We are looking at a unit with regards to Islam and an introductory unit as well with that. So today we're going to be thinking about something called the 5 pillars. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is grab your pen and your paper while we've got our intro music on, and then you're going to come back to me. Okay, so welcome back. I hope you've got your pen and your paper. So your title for you to write down is What are the main principles behind Islamic life? And we're going to explore how the 5 pillars make a difference to Islamic believers. It's going to be good if we can say what the 5 pillars are. It's going to be great if you can explain each of the 5 pillars, and it's going to be even better if you can analyse the importance of the 5 pillars to Muslims as well. During today's lesson, we're going to review a little bit, do a little bit of media investigation through watching something. You're going to be experts. You're going to do a little bit of in-depth research as well, and then we've got a question with a reflection to end with. So, not a huge amount from me today, you'll be pleased to know. The first thing I'd like you to do is to get your hand and to draw around it. Okay. Then you're going to watch a media clip, and then you're going to write the name of the 5 pillars in each finger and explain what they mean. Now I've got this clip from TrueTube, so draw around your hand now, pause me, and then when you start playing, this TrueTube clip will play, and then you can get on with the task that's behind me. See you in a few minutes.
My name is Faisal Bachelani.
And my name is Jaber Bachelani. We live in Beckenham. We're both 16 years old.
And we're twins.
Me, Jaber, I'm older.
Well, Jaber's older by 1 minute, but I'm still taller. We are both Muslims. My family is all Muslim.
We're quite religious. We practice a lot, especially my dad. At the moment, we are in the sacred month of Ramadan, the 9th month of the Islamic year. Sacred because Prophet Muhammad received the first words of the Quran, the sacred book for Muslims.
During Ramadan, Muslims are meant to fast, so we're not meant to eat or drink from when the sun comes up to when the sun comes down. The first meal of the day before sunrise is called Sehri.
The Muslim year is shorter than the Western year, and this means that Ramadan becomes earlier by 10 days each year. At this present time, Ramadan is in the summer. The days are quite long.
The most important things as Muslims we have to do are called the 5 pillars of Islam. A pillar is a column that basically holds up a building. They support the whole faith, so without them it wouldn't be Islam.
So the first pillar of Islam is the Shahada.
We have to say the Shahada.
La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah.
There is only one God and the Prophet Muhammad is his messenger.
The second pillar of Islam is Salah, which is prayer. Muslims are expected to pray 5 times a day. Wudu is a way to cleanse yourself before prayer. You have to wash your face, wash your hands, wash your arms, wash your legs. The call to prayer is done just at the beginning of Fajr, which is the first prayer of the day.
My father usually leads the prayer. My grandpa usually prays with us as well.
My mum and my grandma usually pray with the group, but because the camera people were here today, they prayed in a separate room.
Muslims pray in the direction of the Kaaba, a big cube-shaped building which is in Mecca, because Muslims believe that the Kaaba is the house of God. During prayer you have to recite passages of the Quran, and then you have to prostrate to Allah.
It's when you bow to God.
It symbolises that He is the one Lord. He created all of us, and He alone deserves praise, and we are His servants.
It is quite hard to concentrate in lessons when you're fasting. You feel the urge to eat, your tummy constantly hurts, and your mouth is quite dry all the time.
I think you're exaggerating a little bit. If it's on the first day, yeah, it's going to be hard, but the other days you get used to it.
Sometimes it's bad, but it depends on the day, really.
In school, at lunchtime, we pray the Salah, the second Salah.
We usually pray in the chapel, sometimes with friends or sometimes alone.
The third pillar of Islam is called Zakah, and it is where Muslims give charity to the poor.
Instead of using my lunch money for lunch for Ramadan, I would save the money for charity.
When we start earning, we will give Zakah, which is a 40th of our money left over when we've paid for our homes and food.
Sadaqah is a voluntary act of giving to charity. Because we don't earn yet, we give to Sadaqah. We regularly go to a charity shop on the high street. I do ironing, iron some clothes. We label clothes. We help at the reception area.
It's better to go out and help others rather than sitting at home.
The third prayer of the day is called Asr. The fourth pillar of Islam is Sawm, or fasting, on the holy month of Ramadan.
Muslims are meant to feel what it's like to feel poor. It's meant to make us grateful for what we have rather than wanting more. It's also meant to cleanse us because it is a holy month.
My mum and my grandma usually don't wear a headscarf in the house, but Muslim women usually cover their hair in the presence of strangers.
When the sun goes down, we are free to eat. Usually we first of all have a date and a glass of water, and then we pray Maghrib Salah, which is the fourth Salah, and then after that we have a big feast. We have our favourite food. My mum cooks a lot of food. That meal is called iftar. It feels great, you know. It feels great to eat again. You know, you feel for those who don't have enough food for a day or for a year. The fifth pillar of Islam is Hajj.
It's a sacred pilgrimage to Mecca. You have to do a lot of rituals, and you have to also visit a lot of places where the Prophet visited. The most important part of the Hajj is visiting the Kaaba, which is the house of God. The Hajj happens in a specific month, Dhul Hijjah. We ourselves haven't actually been to Hajj, but we've been to a minor one called the Umrah. We didn't do it in that specific month, but we saw the Kaaba. It's a lot different from the pictures. You feel in awe of it.
Our dad wants us to go on the Hajj in 2 years' time. He wants us to become a bit more mature first, you know.
Usually we pray Isha, which is the fifth prayer in the day, at home with our family, but because it's Ramadan, we pray Isha at the mosque.
You see a lot of your friends, a lot of your relatives, you know, it's a very happy sight. In the mosque, your mind is focused on praying, so you feel closer to God.
Ramadan is quite an important part of Islam. It's quite special to me because I do a lot of different stuff in Ramadan.
It brings our family together. It makes us all kind of come together and eat together. I think it's special because in Ramadan I feel closer to God.
The 5 pillars are special to me because they are the most important part of Islam, without which you can't really call yourself a Muslim.
Okay, so now we've seen that. Now we're on to the Be the Expert, really drilling into it, getting a bit more detail with regards to those pillars. Now we've had that overview. So in the description below, you will find a expert information pack and a grid. What I'd like you to do is to go through the expert information pack and to start pulling out information about each of the pillars. So what's the pillar about? Why is it important? And a quote from the Quran as well, the Islamic scriptures. So pause me now, get that done. That's going to take you 20-25 minutes. This is quite a biggie, but that's why it's about you being the expert. See you in a few. Okay, so what we're going to now do is our sort of written task for this lesson to pull it all together from what you've learned. So this is the question: explain why the 5 pillars are important for Muslims today. Now ideally you're kind of after 2 paragraphs for this. I'm going to suggest that you use a sort of a statement, evidence, analysis and change process. You don't have to, but it is there to help you. And on the right hand side of this screen, you've got some quotes from the Quran which you can use in addition to anything you already might have from the work that you have done. So why are the 5 pillars important to Muslims today? 2 paragraphs. Those take about between 8 and 10 minutes, and then come back to me. Pause me now. Okay, so what we've done today then is we've explored how the 5 pillars make a difference to Islamic believers today, or Muslims. We said it'd be good if we could say what the 5 pillars are. It's going to be great if we can explain each of the 5 pillars, and we're going to look at those in a bit more depth over the next few lessons. And even better if we can analyse the importance of the 5 pillars to Muslims as well. And it brings us to our final activity. I particularly like this activity. And it now brings us to our final activity. I particularly like this activity. This came from an RE Today magazine quite a few years back actually. But I think it's really good for us to understand why the 5 pillars are important in our lives, as well as, but maybe slightly different pillars, as well as in Muslim lives. So what I'd like you to do is to write each of these statements out in the 2 columns that we've got there. So all the times Muslims believe, and all the time I believe. And now you need to then just summarize on the left hand side what it is that Muslims believe and what they do, and on the right hand side how is that similar to things that you might do. So I'm going to leave it there while you do that. I think it's a really nice reflection, this. But anyway, thanks for your time. Stay safe, wash hands, God bless you, and I'll see you soon. And please send all this work through to your teachers because we'd love to see it.